and in the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You want me to speak of my truth? My mother said the year was 1948 when we began to lose our identity. We become strangers in our own lands, oppressed by men with white faces. Everything we owned, everything we were taken from us by the hands of men who starve for power. So hungry, they take our jobs, our homes, and most of all, our nationhood.
It was a segregated society, something that Americans can relate to in our own history. White people, Dutch and English extraction, created a class called Afrikaners, and they spoke a language called Afrikaans. It was like a hybrid language of several European languages, and they created a system where they controlled government. They had the vote, they had access to schools, to all of the perks in society. The 87% were marginalized, demonized, and they were pretty much treated as non-citizens. They established a government that was based upon race, apartheid, and if you were white, you had all of the rights, the right to vote, the right to own property, etc. If you were indigenous, you had no rights. It was gerrymandered. What that means is that political power rested in the hands of the few. The homelands were designated for people of color who had no rights in South Africa.
We'd become aliens to our own country. They issued us these passbooks that we had to carry around in public to identify ourselves. They took us out of our homes and exiled us to reserves that they called our homelands. We protested and tried our best to rise as a people, but they destroyed our will with their guns and their brutality. They killed my brother, Adiki. One day, in the summer of '67, they left their jobs and went into town to protest, and
what happened?
They killed him. 2 bullets to his chest, just like that. He was gone. They never stopped to think that this was somebody's brother, somebody's son. They took our lives as we tried to take back what belonged to us.
Reverend Sullivan is an individual who is a minister, or was a minister, who developed this program to get corporations and individuals to divest themselves of their investments in South Africa and in corporations doing business with South Africa. So anything that negatively impacts your bottom line, people not buying your product, people putting your name in the news, people saying that you are supporting a regime that is basically taking indigenous peoples and making them slaves, or restricting them to reservation-like situations. Because of the amount of attention that was focused on South Africa, people began to see how terrible the system really was. The word apartheid, an Afrikaans word meaning apartness.
There is no question that the policy of apartheid has had a substantial effect on South Africa. For 46 years, the indigenous people of South Africa were not treated as such. We've seen similar instances of oppression in areas such as Europe, the Middle East, and even right here in the United States. However, society is privileged enough to have defenders such as Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and even Reverend Sullivan, who see instances of social injustice and act upon it. They don't stay quiet, they speak truth.